think I'd be totally screwed.
Hit the whole thing goes.
This is called a PIBAL, stands for Pilot Information Balloon. Really, it's just a biodegradable helium balloon. And what I'm doing right now is setting up my stopwatch, and I'm gonna let this go. But that travels up about 350 to 400 feet a minute. So by timing it, we can kind of figure out the different layers of wind are doing. Yeah, here you go. Go ahead and let it go. Just so you guys know, we do a lot more than this too. We look at a lot of different forecasting. Make sure it's worth coming out. We get kind of a game plan of what we expect to happen. We actually have we're able to keep it within a couple miles. So to have a boat like this, you know, for the Great Lakes, they need something the size of like 30 miles an hour. The yellow thing that the cloud roll is, yeah, no, it's there now. Let's see here. I'm gonna go just above the equator. That way the balloon will taper. Okay. All right. Alright, so the fabrics, over your head, feel free to touch the balloon. Totally normal. We have lots of fun here.
He's putting on land there.
We're going to put these on you. Different colors are different sizes. This is going to be your top here if you want the donning instructions towards the chest, and this is going to be on your back side. So we put it on. You want it to look just like this. Your collar, clip it in the middle, adjustable strap right here, lower right hand side, and then you got your pull tab for inflation if you need to use it. Manual inflation, the blow tube on the left underneath the velcros.
You guys ready? Yeah. Huh. I guess, yeah. Huh? Oh, they did a picture for us? Yeah. Sure.
That's a cool one with the flame in the background.
All right, thank you.
What you're going to want to do is you're going to try to get the flame above this burn and the edge of the corner. Okay? You guys ready? We'll show someone show us. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, turn on. You're not turn them on. You want me to do it again? Let's do it for you again.
All right, let's
Who
see.
wants to do it now? Do it again? Count of 3.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, turn them on. You're not turn them on. Okay. good?
Oh, yeah.
So this is the new...
You'll come back, you hear? All right.
Bye. Oh, yeah. What's the music from Top Down when they leave the aircraft here? Music from Top Down when they leave the aircraft here. You guys hear this stuff? This stuff's the world's smallest records for the world's smallest aircraft. It's also the world's only privately owned aircraft too. And this is an actual aircraft.
World's smallest aircraft.
All right, guys, you're more than welcome to come on to the upper deck.
How's everybody doing so far? Oh, yeah. Come on up. Change your mind now. HVAC person? Okay, that's usually if it's on.
Now it is.
Was the theme for Forrest Gump when he is watching he's not watching the feathers, but the feathers floating around everywhere.
Oh.
And we are a 10-story feather. We basically go wherever the wind, we were just talking about how do you steer it. We actually just go where the wind takes us and stuff. So we are like a 10-story feather right now. We have about 80 feet of clarity in the water on Lake Tahoe right now. So, I'm going to tell you guys the story of how this all began. You guys may not realize this, but you guys took part today in the oldest way to fly. Did you know that? Before man went to the air any other way, he did in a hot air balloon, and he did it over Paris, France, in the Garden of Versailles in the year 1783. So, there were two brothers, and these were the Montgolfier brothers. Their daddy owned a paper company. They noticed when they took scraps of paper and they threw it into a smoky fire, they noticed it would rise above the fire, and they didn't know why that was. They thought it was smoke that made it rise. But we know today it was actually hot air. And they did little experiments. They made paper lanterns. Have you guys ever seen a paper lantern before? They made paper lanterns. They sewed them together with a needle and thread. Paper back in those days actually had a lot more fiber. It had cotton, had silk, and it had wood pulp. It was all hammered out nice and smooth, sewed together with a needle and thread. They would put it over a smoky fire. And how do you make smoke in 1783? Wet wool, old hay, manure, dead animal carcasses, and old shoes. Well, obviously with the fire and everything. Well, anyway, they put it over a smoky fire, they filled up the smoke, let go of it, and went floating up in the air. And they thought to themselves, you know what, if we got a big enough smoky fire, we have a big enough paper lantern, we could probably fly a human because it does lift weight and everything. And so one day, the King of France, he wanted some paper. And the Montgolfier family came out from Annonay, where they were, brought the king some paper. Mr. Montgolfier brought his 2 sons, and the king was out on his patio. If you guys have been to France, you know that the palace is directly next to the Garden of Versailles. He was out on his patio, and these 2 little boys were playing with their paper lanterns. The king said, hey, what are your sons doing? He said, Your Highness, they believe you can lift up a human if you got a big enough paper lantern. The king goes, that sounds really cool, let's do that. I'm gonna pay you guys to build a paper lantern large enough to fly some humans. But before we do, let's practice on some animals, because that's what us humans do. So the very first passengers in a hot air balloon were not human. They're actually 3 little animals, a sheep, a rooster, and a duck. And it sounds like I'm making up this story, right? But I promise you it's true. If you read the history books, it's true. The reason they picked these 3 animals, they thought the air above the ground might be poisonous gas. They thought you might lose your life if you left the ground. They picked the sheep because the sheep actually has lungs like us, runs around the ground like we do. The rooster flies 20 or 30 feet above the ground, but no higher. The duck can go a couple thousand feet. And again, they wanted to see at what point you might damage your lungs. They put them into a wicker basket, very much like ours, but they had a loose wicker top on it so they wouldn't fly away or jump out. And they had to flap and inflate the balloons to get the air in the balloons. They got the balloon all ready to go. They got the animals all loaded in there. The balloon starts to lift off the ground. There was a big rope tying them to the ground. They cut the rope and the animals went to 1,000 feet for 6 minutes, and then their fire went out. What happens when your fire goes out, everybody? You drop, and you drop fast. Did you guys know you can survive a full speed landing in a hot air balloon? The way a wicker basket is woven together, it picks up the inertia as you're coming down. As long as you bend your knees and hold on, you will survive a full speed landing in a hot air balloon. But the poor little sheep couldn't bend. And he hurt his legs, say, oh. And the rooster hurt his beak, say, oh. And the duck was okay. Anyway, that's the only part of the book story that I embellished. I don't know whether it's true or not. You know they did survive. They did survive. And the king got all excited because he now knew that we could fly humans. So he got really excited. He invited 400,000 people to his garden. People that have been to the Garden of Versailles. It's a big place, right? 400,000 people were gathered there. If you were somebody special at that point in history, you were there. You guys heard of Thomas Jefferson? He was there. You guys heard of Benjamin Franklin? He was there too. You were somebody special, you were there. He actually crossed the Atlantic Ocean to watch this. Now the king didn't want to hurt real humans. We have this great idea. He said, guards, go get me 2 prisoners, and they did. They brought 2 prisoners out in handcuffs. They walked them out to the balloon. They put them inside the basket. The king is thinking he's a genius because if something bad happens to a prisoner, who cares, right? They catch on fire, no big deal. But the king had a wife. Do you guys know that your wife messes up all your cool plans? Do you know my wife has been messing up my cool plans for 33 years? Do you know that my wife is right about 99.9% of the time though? She really is. I see this far, my wife sees like past the mountains and stuff. She can see the future. And his wife was Marie Antoinette. She leaned over to the king, she said, hey, you don't want to do this? And he's like, why not? She said, you're just about ready to make these 2 prisoners the most famous guys in the world. And when you're the king, you don't want them to be more famous than you, right? So he sent those guys back to prison. Now you think the king would jump in the balloon himself, but he's scared. But he's got a couple relatives that have been driving him crazy. You guys have relatives that drive you crazy? These guys are both royalty. Their names is Pilato de Rosier. The second guy's name was the Marquis Francois Laurent Delon. Those 2 guys got in that wicker basket. They started stoking up the fire with the wet wool, old hay, manure, animal carcasses, and old shoes. That balloon starts to lift off the ground. Now, everybody on the ground is holding up their champagne bottles because man is flying for the very first time and they are so happy to watch that happen. And those guys, they cut the rope and those guys went shooting up in the air. Now, did you guys notice when we were 1,000 foot or less on both of our flights, we were going very slow, right? When we went up high on both of our flights, we were going like 20 miles an hour up there, right? So when the sheep and the rooster and the duck went up, they never went higher than 1,000 feet. They went up, landed back in the garden. But when Pilato and Francois went up, they went up high. And all of a sudden they looked down and they said, hey, where's Paris? Well, Paris had disappeared. Now they're getting scared. How do you land a hot air balloon? Why do we agree to do this? How are we going to get back to Paris? And they see this little village in the distance and they thought to themselves, we can land by that village for, they don't love us. They'll probably have a parade for us. They might even stick us on their shoulders and march us to your town. They'll probably loan us a couple horses to get back. But you know, the people that knows you've never seen them work before. They thought this is an alien or a demon coming to kill them. Rather than being happy to see them, they got pitchforks, sickles, spears, knives. They went to go kill that balloon. Now, luckily those guys landed before they got there. So they hit the ground really hard. Unlike us, they bounced out of the basket. Unlike us, they were okay. But now the balloon is very light because there's no wind there anymore. Flies away without them. Lands over by the village. People in the village start stabbing that balloon to death. And those guys are laying on the ground going, hey, let's not go over there. They'll kill us. Let's go back to Paris and see the king. You guys have been probably wondering this whole entire time when I'm going to get some really cool champagne. It's coming up right now. The king said, hey guys, how'd it go? And they said, king, seeing the world. The way you guys all saw the world community is pretty amazing, right? But king, we need to work on this whole landing business because everyone wants to kill you. King's like, I got a great idea. He said, from this day forward, take a bottle of my finest champagne. Upon landing, take the unopened bottle, wrap a rope around the top of it, and dangle that bottle of champagne below the balloon. Everybody on the ground will know that you're human because only humans have champagne. And secondly, everybody loves champagne, right? Now let's say I'm landing in your backyard. And sometimes I fly over land. Let's say you're not very happy. You come out screaming at me. What I do when I land on land in somebody's backyard is I take a bottle of champagne, I get very low, like this on your face, or and I hand the landowner a bottle of champagne. And the funny thing is, even though they were unhappy, they become very happy once I hand them a bottle of champagne. They always say, hey, come back tomorrow, bring us another bottle.
Danger zone. Perfect.
Okay, at the count of 3, I'll do a 3, 2, 1. I'll have you guys put a little bend to your knees.
Watch your fingers on that front leading
Okay,
edge.
people in the front, which is you guys, put your hands inside because we're going to go bounce against that balloon parking sign. So I need you guys all to stay in this basket. And I need you guys to do me a favor. Could you guys join me in thanking our captain? 3, 2, 1.
When did you guys get on?
Been here the whole time.
Wow.
Watch your hands up front. There he is, Ilya. All right, cool. So we need you to stay inside, okay? Stay inside this basket. I need your weight. You guys get to watch this whole thing come down from inside the basket.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah. Feel of that. We're going to pull the whole top of the balloon out. If you do take the time out, follow the balloon as it flips over, okay? This is a huge balloon. This is one of the largest in the world. It's 6 times larger than a normal hot air balloon. Yeah, because I can take it 6 times the amount of when I know that you guys are safely on this deck, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go help them real quick. You guys stay in this basket. Okay, hold on. Go Still hanging out?
The third arm might catch a little bit, but I think it's trying to roll off. There we go, we're clear. Yep.
side a little bit, because I'm going to shoot this cork up into the air. We have a tradition here, we can try to shoot the cork in the air, try to make it land in that basket. There's a sign of good luck. We're going to try to do that. Who thinks I can put it in the basket? Do you think I can do it? So, you guys know this is more dangerous than the hot air balloon ride for me? I actually had a guy in my basket about a year or so ago that was a surgeon, or a eye surgeon. He said he gets more eye surgeries from people that pop themselves in the eye with the champagne cork than any other reason. He says usually on their fourth or fifth bottle of champagne. So, Captain, you all set? You got all set there? Would you guys all please raise your hands and tell me I did not hurt you? Raise your hands. Tell me I did not hurt you. Good. Guess what I'm supposed to do with this bottle of champagne when I don't hurt anybody? And I never have hurt anybody my whole career. I'm supposed to take one of my bottles of champagne. I'm supposed to shake it up like a madman. I'm supposed to spray you guys with champagne. Aren't you guys excited? There's usually a couple that say go for it. I've noticed if we spray you with champagne, all reviews can go from like 5 stars down to 1 star, so we don't do that, okay? Instead, we have a tradition here on the Tahoe Flyer. Lift up your glasses, here we go. It is that the winds have welcomed us with softness, and that the sun has blessed us with its warm hands. We've flown so high and so well, that God's to us with laughter, and He has gently set His back in the loving arms of Mother Earth for the Tahoe Flyer. Cheers to you guys. Cheers, cheers, cheers. 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 I gotta get you some more. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers. Thank you.
All right.
You
did it.
Did you already get some?
Cheers.
Oh, go ahead.
I couldn't do my job if I didn't have passengers. Thank you for allowing me to live my dream today. Thank you for being my passengers. Cheers to you all. Cheers. Captain Greg. Also, this is Captain George right here. He also helps us out, Captain. He's one of the
Cheers.
All right. That's your balloon. That's your basket. Right there is your burner.